You stepped down as president of ITHF the day after your 38th birthday. Why?
Well, there are also several reasons for doing this. In the last years I've been listening to a lot of people who want to make ITHF a big federation with a lot of TV channels and a lot of prize money. That is possible in especially one country, Russia. A lot of things are possible in Russia, and I love to see that because that's real development. But the fact is that most of the countries in the table hockey world right now, they are small countries, they are struggling and fighting just in order to make one tournament every year, that is their national championship. Hungary is a good example of these things I'm talking about here. But the thing is, as a president, I put a lot of, demands on myself. Because if you are going to be a president, I think it's important that you are doing the job in the very best way. It's important that you're answering emails from people who want to know something from you. It's important that you're always looking upon what is the best solution. And that means you have to use a lot of time. And even though you're using a lot of time and trying to do your best, then there are a lot of people who are not satisfied with the job you're doing, even though you are voluntary and you're not getting a single penny for it. So I think it's very important that the people with a lot of ambitions, they are going to take responsibility and they are going to do a job in the International Federation, ITHF. That's one of the things. But another thing is, I think it's healthy sometimes to change the people at the positions. We're having an executive committee consisting of people. I have been there since 2005, as the only one who has been there all years since ITHF was founded. And I think it would be great to see new faces at the very top, but it doesn't mean that I don't want to do anything. For me it's important to plan the World Tour, and it's a big job, and I have already told the ITHF and the table hockey world that I'm ready to do that job also in future as a part of the executive committee, but not as the president, for example as a World Tour manager or something like that.
You have talked about the organization of tournaments. What do you value in an organization of a tournament?
It's very simple for me. First of all, it's very important when you want to have a tournament belonging to World Tour, you must inform about every detail when you apply for the tournament. That is a time schedule, a playing system so people know how this tournament will be arranged. It's the venue of the tournament, the city of the tournament, so we know where to play and where to book our hotel room or hostel room, and it's the date of the tournament. So I think it's important as an organizer, when you want to apply for a tournament belonging to the World Tour, then you know these details. You have tried to figure out, can we get that room where we want to play? And when we get the answer from the local community, yes, then we inform ITHF about the date, instead of changing the date 1 month before the tournament. I think not that's professional. And that's irritating, because it means that if you are changing a date, and you're writing to ITHF about that, and perhaps they are allowing you because they know it's difficult to arrange a tournament, then we get a lot of mails from other people who say, oh, that's not professional. It's irritating that you're changing the date and now we have booked hotel rooms. So I want an organizer to think about these things before applying for a tournament belonging to ITHF World Table Hockey Tour. The most important thing when arranging the tournament is great tables. If you're not having great tables, it's coincidences that decides who will promote to the next stage. I know the best players of the world. They say, oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who is number 34 or 22, because the 10 best players, they will always promote to playoff. Yes, that's right. But if you want to have a sport, it's not enough that we're only having the 20 or 30 best players of the world. We must do something for everyone. Also the man who is placed 56 and who is glad that he was 56 instead of 76. So it's good to have great tables, good organization, a decent time schedule, and a place to play where there are good conditions with light and sound and so on.
Some people have said that only big cities should have a World Championship or European Championship. There was a lot of discussion last year about Stavanger, who won the championship in 2013, because it's a small town. What is your opinion? Is it a big city or it's more in the organization?
That's not so important for me. If you can transport yourself to Stavanger or to another small city, I think it's okay to play there. For example, in Turku, Turku was a great city. The tournament was not so great in my opinion, because I had to work from Friday at noon on when I arrived in the playing arena until I left the playing arena Sunday night. So it was very, very tough weekend, and it was more than a work than it was like having fun. I think it's great to play in smaller cities if the organizers are good organizers, because you could have the worst organizer in the biggest city in the world, and you can have a fantastic organizer in a small city. Two of the best big championships I have been to, that is the European Championship in Överum in Sweden, a very small, I would not say town, perhaps village. They were excellent organizers, a fantastic tournament. And the best World Championship I have played, that is World Championship 2009 in Budapest. They were also excellent organizers. They had some troubles to arrange the tournament before the tournament because of the financial crisis, but when they arranged the tournament, I think it was fabulous.
You have played in 7 international championships. Now have you talked about the best. What is, in your opinion, the worst championship you have been a part in?
That depends on. I think it was a tough tournament in Turku, especially because Friday you had to make a lot of decisions and try to help the organizers, because there were a lot of complaints. And I can see a development where many people are complaining about each other. They come with their video cameras and they say, oh, that was not 3 seconds, that was 3.0001 second, and so there's no goal or something like that. I think this is a little bit irritating, and there were a lot of complaints, but that was also because of the fact that some preparation were not done in a proper way. For example, there was some problem with the jingle, and then it was extremely hot in the playing arena and so on. So it's difficult for me to say what was the worst championship. It was also hard to be in Moscow in 2007 and to stay there in the middle of the night because you didn't sleep that weekend. So I think it's the important thing is to make a time schedule, a realistic time schedule that you can follow the whole weekend. Realistic time schedule and great tables. If you can do those 2 things in a very precise way, then you can make the best possible championship at all.
In Denmark there has been a lot of discussion about the special categories. I know that you have had a proposal about changing the years for the special categories. How do you think about the discussion about when women should have allowed to play both junior and women, so they should be at different times?
Yeah, I understand the discussion. I understand that if you are a great junior player, you want to play the junior competition, and if you are a great female player, you also want to play the female competition. Personally, I would prefer that we split up the World Championship, but perhaps it's not realistic to arrange just a junior championship somewhere, but it could be a solution. When we're talking about the European Championship 2012, I think the best solution would be to perhaps say to people, okay, we cannot make the perfect championship in only 3 days, so we have to make we must make a choice, and that means that you are only allowed to play, or you just have the possibility to play just one special category. That could be either junior, veteran, or women. That's not a perfect solution, but it's not a perfect solution either to say that we are having the ladies competition at the same time as the open team competition, because one of the best players in Estonia, Maria Saveljeva, she is also one of the best players for their team competition, so it's not an easy discussion. So I think it's about finding, okay, what is the not so bad solution in this